about a moment about Mrs. Mary Cox. Mrs. Mary Cox was born in 1915, and died on 1999. And this is what I want to call reduction. Reduction is a procedure that reduces complex data and phenomena like life and all its complicity into a very simple term like hyphen. And hi, my name is Haya Sheffer for you. And I do my PhD at Reading, UK. And what my research is focusing on is on how personal tracking applications are influencing the way that we perceive ourselves. And this is a small chapter from my thesis. And when I talk about reduction, I talk about a philosophy, about a belief, about a very big passion to something. And I want to ask, actually, what are we losing when we reduce the whole complex life of Mrs. Mary Cox into a hyphen? And actually, we're all now living our hyphen. And it's not only about what we're losing, it's also about what are we throwing away? What are we not including while we reduce something? And I'll quote Mondrian, who wanted to clean out of his images, of his drawing, the individual tragic aspects of life. And actually Mondrian did it because he wanted to give us space, a new clean space that we can start creating something new. And he wanted us to develop something new out of this reduced space. But when you think of scientific way of reduction, you understand that what scientists looked for was a reduced truth. They tried to reduce science into a very small, pure one truth. They thought of it as a truth. And now, a bit potted history. I know lunch is just over the door, and I'll try to do it very short and precise. And let's just jump to Vienna, the early 20th century. And this group is called the Vienna Circle. It's a group of philosophers and scientists who gathered together once a week in order to discuss issues of philosophy and science. And they constructed what they called the logical positivism philosophy, which they believed is not limited into science. It is a way of seeing the whole big variety of life, educational, economic, social, political issues in an empirical science way. And why am I telling you about the Vienna Circle in this date of this conference? One second. Two people that are very associated with this, with the Vienna Circle was Albert Einstein and Ludwig Wittgenstein. And one of the ways, okay, that's the Vienna Circle. Okay, so they believed in unified reduction science for all kind of aspects in life, like educational, architectural, economic, social life according to rational principles. And one of the leading figures in the Vienna Circle, which you might heard of, was Otho Neurath. And he came from political science and statistics, but his main life achievement, I think he would agree with me, was what he called the pictorial language, or the pictorial statistic, which was a language that he developed in order to bring to the culture data. And this is exactly what we call today data visualization. And he came from this Vienna Circle, and he used their belief. He was really a leading figure in the group. He wrote their manifesto, and his mission was to use this ideology of reduction and to put it into data visualization, as we call it today. Okay, so he was an activist. He was socialist between wars, and he really believed he should use this method as a form, to use forms to design the democracy of knowledge. And out of this belief and this ambition, he started to develop the ISOTYPE. And what you can see here, that's a very small book that I found in the British Library, which is full of explanations of things that we were talking today from the eyes of the 2023, but he did that only almost a century ago, and he was one of the fathers of researching and explaining and creating this language, which is so common today. What you see here is his suggestion to how to combine two figures into one figure. What we saw before was different ways to show statistics, which would be the most powerful way to deliver the ideas. And he did have an agenda. He did want to deliver ideas. And I want to quote, I'll do that in Hebrew, a short phrase from their manifesto. He wrote their manifesto, and it wasn't related to data. It is part of their ideology. היעד שלפנינו הוא מדע מאוחד. מכאן נאור החיפוש אחר מערכת נוסחאות ניטרלית, סמלים הנקיים מפסולת השפה ההיסטורית, וכן חיפוש אחר מערכת מושגים מוחלטת. השאיפה היא לניקיון ובהירות, כאשר מרחקים אפלים ועומקים שאינם ניתנים להיחקר נדחקים. במדע אין עומקים, המישור נמצא בכל מקום. And another letter that I found that he wrote to a friend of his, which he called a list of dangerous words. And it's funny, it's a word full of dangerous words, which are, all of them are subjective words. The subjective way of seeing world is dangerous in his point of view and in the Vienna scientific point of view. And he said, in short, one should avoid abstract terms like spirit of the nation or driving forces in the nation. All these pompous words reduce the descriptive power of language. And from this point of view, from this ideology, it was a short way to the belief, to create such a diagram, which he called Man Living on Earth, using 5 figures to depict the whole universe, the whole variety, we talked about suffering, the whole life of the universe into what you can see here, white, red, black, brown, and yellow men, men and not women, and all that in 3 colors. That's another one. And then one would ask, so what? What do we care? What's the problem? What's bad about it? So we have life and we have the reduction. And at the beginning of the 20th century, many philosophers started to feel not comfortable about the way that science science is using itself as the ultimate truth, and they started to develop all kind of philosophical points of view, which you know many of them, which are called all kind of post philosophies, and they call to see the world in much a deeper way, in diverse way, to see the vague parts of the discussion, not only what Adorno and Oppenheimer calls here the blindness and the muteness of the data. And fast forwarding to today, something happened from a century ago where someone tried through his philosophy and through his practice to make us believe in data as the ultimate way of seeing the world and seeing things. And we will just for 1 minute focus on so many ways that we as personal people use data to tell us the story about ourselves, which is pure data, telling the story about the wholeness of our life. So we track habits, we track workouts, friends' requests, meditation, isn't it weird? Breastfeeding, calories burned, mood, friend steps, not only our own steps, popularity, how many WhatsApps are waiting for me or notes on Facebook, sexual performance, place visited, happiness, routines, sleep. So starting way back then with Otho Neurath, sorry, I forgot to thank Eladiana, which his research is, his thesis is about Otho Neurath legacy, so I had to do that a few slides ago. So now think of the way that we moved from his legacy to the way that we constantly track our life today through data, and think about the words that they used a century years ago of the things that we have to clean out of our life, like individual tragic aspects, slag of historical language, dark distance, pomposed words, and this became a major essence of our today's life. And what do I suggest? I'm not a VSDIS designer, and what I call you to try to create a post-data or a post-measuring way of understanding ourselves. And I was very happy to see 2 speakers here that were talking about post-data and post-measuring ways of understanding our life. So Rosanna, thank you. I'm quoting her, the universe is run by cows, let's celebrate. And Alicia, thank you, was talking about emotional visualization. And I think this is what we have to aim to. Thank you very much.
Thank you.